Carol Danvers had her debut in comics almost 60 years ago. Here's Captain Marvel fully explained. Carol Danvers was born in Boston, Massachusetts, to a very uncommon couple. Her father, Joe Danvers, was a U.S. Navy officer, and her mother, Marielle, was a former Kree Army captain, as revealed in Life of Captain Marvel Volume 2, Number 4, October 2018. That's right, Carol isn't fully human. She's a human-Kree hybrid, so she was born with superpowers. However, she didn't become a superhero the moment she discovered her abilities. Instead, Carol joined the Air Force. This was the beginning of a promising career in the U.S. government defense system that ended up with her becoming a colonel. And eventually, she was granted a position at NASA as a security officer. This position put her on the path to becoming a superhero, but plenty happened before she became the heroine we know and love now. While working for NASA, Carol met the original Captain Marvel, aka Mar-Vell, in Captain Marvel Volume 1, Number 1, March 1968. Intrigued by him, Carol eventually fell in love with the hero. Unfortunately, when Mar-Vell became persona non grata for a series of miscommunications on a Kree versus humans war, Carol's own reputation took a big hit, and so did her body. After being kidnapped by one of Mar-Vell's enemies in Captain Marvel Volume 1, Number 16, June 1969, Carol was hit by the Kree Psyche Magnetron, a machine designed to grant superpowers. As revealed in Ms. Marvel Volume 1, Number 19, May 1978, this enhanced her hybrid physiology, making her truly powerful. However, it also split her personality. For a while in there, Carol was only a human, while Ms. Marvel, as she named herself, was a Kree vigilante. These two didn't know each other existed, so it was a difficult process to handle. Carol acted as Ms. Marvel for around 35 years. First, she kept her split personality. However, eventually, she sought the help of a psychiatrist to understand the origin of her blackouts. This allowed her to merge her two identities into one, although it took a while before she had control over it. As Ms. Marvel, Carol fought dozens of criminals on her own, which eventually earned her a reputation and a couple of allies, like Jessica Jones, aka Jewel, and even Spider-Man, as shown in Marvel Team-Up numbers 61 through 62, June and July 1977. Eventually, when Scarlet Witch left the team, Ms. Marvel was invited to join the Avengers. She was given full status and official membership in Avengers number 183, February 1979. From that moment on, she became one of the most prominent Avengers ever, regardless of her moniker. As Ms. Marvel, Carol lived many adventures. She assisted during the Kree-Shi'ar War, witnessed the end of Earth's mightiest heroes during Avengers Disassembled, and fought Skrulls during the Secret Invasion. She even got herself an archenemy. Carol only became Captain Marvel after a gruesome battle against the Phoenix Force, one of the most powerful cosmic entities in the Marvel Universe. The Phoenix Force threatened Earth once more during the Avengers vs. X-Men crisis. This villainous force arrived on Earth. As it turns out, the Kree Empire had planned everything to make the Phoenix Force their new source of power. Using Marvel Mind's telepathy, the Kree subdued Carol and Nova to fight for them. If this wasn't enough, the Kree resurrected Mar-Vell, who had died of cancer decades ago. You see, a part of the Phoenix Force had died with Mar-Vell at the time. Now, the Phoenix was back to claim it. During the fight, Ms. Marvel accessed the powers of a white hole to stop Phoenix and tried to banish it to an alternate plane created by Thor. But even all this power wasn't enough. Mar-Vell put two and two together and understood that the key to stopping the Phoenix Force was himself. By destroying the Phoenix power inside his own body, the Phoenix would leave them alone. So he sacrificed himself heroically to save everyone else in Secret Avengers number 28, June 2012. This noble sacrifice inspired Ms. Marvel to take the Captain Marvel moniker, as a reminder of the kind of hero she strives to be, and boy, she has definitely come through. Ironically, thanks to the MCU, few non-comics fans know that Carol has only been Captain Marvel for the last 13 years. Considering she has been around for almost 60 years, her run as Captain Marvel makes up for a very small percentage of her whole superhero career until now. As a human-Kree hybrid, Captain Marvel was born with latent abilities. However, it wasn't until after the Psyche Magnetron triggered her powers that Carol learned truly how powerful she was. Captain Marvel possesses incredible superpowers that make her one of the strongest Avengers ever. First things first, Captain Marvel can fly. Apparently, the heroine has a natural ability to use electromagnetic fields to propel herself. We don't really know her speed limit, but we know this. As a defender of the whole universe, Captain Marvel uses her flight to travel from Earth to other planets often. This means she can fly in outer space, so she can go faster than the speed of light. Since she isn't human, Carol doesn't have a human physiology. Instead, she's super strong. She can lift around 70 tons, which puts her at the same level as Doc Samson, Horus, and even Ares. We're talking about literal gods here. Carol also has incredible stamina. She can fight for hours without getting tired or losing strength. Besides, although she isn't bulletproof, her body can stand bullet wounds without getting anything more than a bruise. She can also withstand extreme temperatures or getting hit by super powerful characters like Hulk. Of course, this also comes with superhuman agility and reflexes. Her reactions are basically instant. While her healing factor isn't as incredible as Wolverine's, Captain Marvel can heal her own wounds unconsciously. Even when this skill isn't working fully, the heroine can absorb energy from her surroundings to push things further. And speaking of energy absorption, this is actually Captain Marvel's main power. Carol can process many different types of energy with her body: light, heat, and even gravity. This energy enhances her super traits and gives her extra abilities since she can also discharge it. Captain Marvel can absorb the energy surrounding her and turn it into photon blasts, which she uses to hit her enemies. Additionally, she can use this energy to survive without food, sleep, or even oxygen. As long as she has energy, she can go forever without anything that normal humans need. Captain Marvel's body is the perfect combination of Kree and human genes. This means that even when she can't access her Kree abilities, she ranks above the average human. Ironically, her energy absorption abilities didn't come as part of her human Kree nature. Instead, Carol gained these abilities after the Brood experimented on her in an attempt to turn her into a host for their race in Uncanny X-Men number 161, June 1982. A little while after becoming Ms. Marvel, but way before the Captain Marvel moniker, Carol used a different superhero identity: Binary. This new identity was widely related to her energy absorption abilities. Let us explain. When the Brood experimented on Carol, she gained the ability to absorb all energy to amp up her power. This means that when given access to a truly massive amount of energy, she can basically go supernova. This is exactly what happened. In order to escape the Brood, Carol fought their troops in outer space in Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, 164, September 1982. Her new abilities were triggered and she absorbed energy from a white hole. By doing this, she tapped into cosmic energies that enhanced her super strength and super speed, and even altered her physically. When Carol noticed these changes, she changed her moniker to Binary and vowed not to be confined to Earth. She even rejected an invitation to join the X-Men so she could travel in space. As Binary, Carol became several times more powerful than she already was, and since she got a permanent connection to the white hole that powered her in the first place, she never ran out of energy. During this time, she gained control over gravitational fields and accomplished feats such as killing Zenith, a powerful cosmic guard, and fighting the Phoenix Force. Binary is such a powerful superhero that fans still hold certain hope to see Carol embrace this role in the MCU. Would you like to see it? Remember that we told you Captain Marvel had an archenemy? Well, it's actually Rogue from the X-Men. In fact, Rogue and Captain Marvel have one of the most complicated relationships in Marvel. This makes no sense, especially considering they're both heroes, right? Wrong. You probably know Rogue used to be a villain. It was during this time that she and Carol became rivals. At some point during her time with Mystique's Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Rogue learned from a vision that Carol Danvers would be the reason for her ultimate demise. Rogue didn't like this information, so she decided to take Ms. Marvel down before. The mutant followed Carol to San Francisco. Here, they fought for the first time ever at the Golden Gate Bridge. During the fight, Rogue touched Ms. Marvel to steal some of her powers, but something else happened. Rogue didn't just copy Ms. Marvel's powers. Instead, she absorbed the heroine's complete power set and even her memories. Rogue became incredibly powerful, of course, but this also affected her mind in Marvel Superheroes number 11, August 1992. Carol didn't die, but she became a husk of herself. After Spider-Woman took her with Professor X so he could help bring her memories back, Carol realized she didn't have any emotional connection with her past. It was as if she were watching someone else's memories. This affected Carol deeply, creating a great resentment towards Rogue. Many years later, the two women met again. At this point, Rogue wasn't a villain anymore. In fact, she was living at Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, starting her career as a superhero alongside the X-Men. By this time, Carol had recovered her powers thanks to the Brood's experiments. She was now living as Binary. However, she was still bitter about Rogue's actions in the past. This is why, although they were on the same side at that moment, Carol still punched Rogue using her Binary abilities. Rogue, who felt incredibly guilty for her previous actions, didn't fight back in Uncanny X-Men number 171, April 1983. More recently, Captain Marvel had to fight a mind-controlled Rogue. This was tough for Carol. Although it's been years since Rogue took her powers, she's still quite afraid of that happening again. The feeling of powerlessness is something Captain Marvel doesn't handle very well. Fortunately, nothing happened. Captain Marvel found a way to save Rogue from the brainwashing, but even the mutant had asked Carol to kill her if they didn't find a way to fix her in Captain Marvel Volume 10 Number 4, April 2019. Still, even if they have shared some great moments, Carol and Rogue aren't exactly friends. Both heroines know their shared past is too intense for them to simply become more than acquaintances. However, they can work together and they respect what the other one does. Maybe they could become friends in the future. Here's hoping. They would make one hell of a dynamic duo. Like most Marvel superheroes, Captain Marvel is fallible. She may not be human, but she has a human nature, which leads her to make mistakes sometimes. This is part of what makes her compelling. She's complex. Of course, this means she has done terrible things too. One of the most shameful moments in Captain Marvel's history took place somewhere around 2016 in Civil War II. You probably remember the first superhero Civil War. When a legislative bill known as the Superhuman Registration Act was turned into a law in the US, all superheroes were forced to register with the government. Some agreed, some didn't. This led to a huge fight with Iron Man and Captain America leading each faction. Well, it happened again. This time, the conflict didn't have anything to do with a fascist law. Instead, it opposed determinism versus free will. You see, a new Inhuman named Ulysses Kane became known in the superhero community because he could predict the future. In Civil War II, Volume 1, Number 1, June 2016, Captain Marvel realizes she can use Ulysses' abilities to stop crimes even before they happen, but Iron Man believes this isn't justice. If the crime hasn't happened, there shouldn't be a guilty party. Half of the superhero community agrees with Carol. The other thinks Tony is right. You know where this is going, right? It's too big a discussion not to become a true problem. Things only get worse when War Machine dies in a battle against Thanos, and She-Hulk enters a coma. Perks of the job, sure, but as it turns out, the fight wasn't necessary. It is soon revealed that Captain Marvel used Ulysses' abilities to learn a bit about Thanos' doing. Then, she forced her team into combat before it should have happened. This led to Rhodey's death, which Ulysses hadn't predicted. Following this tragic event, Tony swears not to let this happen again, while Captain Marvel swears that Rhodey understood the need for this kind of justice. Things get truly ugly in the superhero community, and things escalate to the point where Hawkeye kills Hulk in Civil War II Number 3, July 2016. Can you imagine? It's madness out there, and many agree that Carol was the true villain of the story. The heroine is known to be stubborn and determined, but this time she really sticks to her guns without thinking first. Things end up with Iron Man in a coma and Ulysses becoming a cosmic entity. A lot of innocent people died just because Captain Marvel had become obsessed with preemptive justice, and she didn't seem to see that she was causing more problems than solutions. Captain Marvel went so hard on this series that many fans think it was even out of character. Still, this event belongs to her personal Hall of Shame. Civil War II has to be Carol Danvers' biggest and most shameful moment. Sadly for her, it's far from a secret. Carol Danvers had her debut in the MCU a while ago in Captain Marvel in 2019, but as you can see, there's still plenty about her story that could make it into the movies. What's next for her in the MCU? Following the Marvels film, the heroine will likely put all her efforts into saving Monica Rambeau from the alternate reality she ended up in. Brie Larson wasn't announced on the Avengers. Doomsday massive cast reveal. Does this mean she won't be a part of the multiverse saga finale? We hope she will at least make it into Avengers: Secret Wars. Since she ranks among the most powerful superheroes in the MCU and has been defending Earth for around 3 decades, it wouldn't make sense for her not to appear in the final battle. Her binary form would be incredibly useful in this situation, wouldn't it? Even if she isn't Ms. Marvel, Carol has the ability to absorb energy in the movies, so she could easily absorb a white hole or even the energy of an incursion. Regarding the future beyond the multiverse saga, fans are also eager to see her fight against Rogue. If the mutants are truly on the way, the Captain Marvel-Rogue rivalry is one of the first arcs Marvel Studios should develop. Don't you agree? Of course, this would mean Rogue will debut soon in the MCU too. This isn't far-fetched at all. She's one of the most popular X-Men ever. Did you know all this stuff about Captain Marvel? Would you like to keep seeing her in the MCU in the future? Let us know in the comments and remember to subscribe.